I'd like to call the order of the Zion Park District regular meeting to order of March 16th, 2023. Kay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Here.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
Commissioner McGarrett? Here. Commissioner Rivers? President Hart?
Here. Can I ask everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. I'll need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the Personnel and Finance Subcommittee and the regular board meeting, the regular meeting of the Board of Directors, the Board of Commissioners, dated February 15th, 2023.
Have a second. Any, Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett?
Aye.
President Hart?
Aye. I'd like to welcome the guest. It's an honor for us to have somebody here, so we appreciate it. Okay, any changes to the agenda?
Could you do me a favor and introduce yourself, just so the board knows? and
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
can record it.
My name's Sandra Diliberti. I've been a resident of Zion for 50 years, and I utilize the services of the Park District, so I decided I'd come in and find out just what you guys will do.
Excellent.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And I apologize for missing you. That's
Right,
my
it's
fault.
not a normal occurrence, obviously.
No.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a shock. But thank you for coming, and please feel free to come anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any changes to the
We
agenda?
do. We will change the agenda to move Camosi Construction up to the first item of new business.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett?
Aye.
President Hart?
Aye. All right, any commissioners' comments? Okay. Anything from the attorney?
Nope, nothing from the attorney.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the paid bills.
I will make a motion to approve the unpaid bills, the bills for February of 2023 in the amount of $202,114,000.74.
Have a second? Second. Have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett?
Aye.
President Hart?
Aye. Okay, executive report.
Okay, so to start off my report, happy to announce that our district was awarded a $600,000 OSLAD grant in the most recent cycle to renovate David Park. So this was, in conjunction with our partners at Hitchcock Design Group, who helped us write the grant. Which I remember when we were going through that proposal with Hitchcock, we were all thinking, so does this guarantee us that we're going to get the money? This is a sizable amount for them for their fees, but it was definitely worth it. So the project that we submitted had a base amount of 1.4 million. So we are required a match on the 600,000. So if we do that base project, we're looking at contributing about 800,000. But there are some alternates in the plan that could include like an additional basketball court, an additional soccer field, which could drive the price to ultimately around $2 million. But it's still a much needed renovation, for that park, and we're happy to be awarded $600,000 from the state. And we're also really proud to have brought in, $1 million in state funds this year, right? We brought in $400,000 from an OSLAD grant that we're going to be utilizing this summer for the construction of the Shiloh Park court. So that's $400,000, and this is $600,000. So, really pleased to be able to secure these grant funds. These funds come from Illinois Department of Natural Resources. So to bring those state funds into our community, ultimately to develop things for residents is great, and we're really excited to do that. The second thing I wanted to mention was the legislative breakfast that was held at Gurney Park District. So on March 3rd, IAPD always does a nice job of hosting that legislative breakfast, which brings in, some of the state senators and state representatives in our area. That gives us a nice opportunity to, network with them, get some good face time with some of our representatives, and just kind of tell them some of the issues that are important to us so they can fight for us in Springfield. I did meet our new state senator, Mary Edley Allen. So we're in the 31st Senate District. She took over for Melinda Bush, right? So that was the first time I had met Mary Edley Allen in person, and got her cell phone number at the time. And we'll contact her with any issues that we have where she can represent us in Springfield on. Also saw Joyce Mason there. She gave a nice presentation. She commented on our park district, on the Zion Park District, and kind of pointed to Bill and I, who were in the crowd. Both Bill and I were there. And so that was nice to get acknowledged by Joyce. And what IAPD does, and some of those representatives and stuff, there's different bills that are tracked, throughout the year, and they make sure that the park district, the best intentions of the park districts are represented, down in Springfield. So, for example, one of the items that we were talking about was, Senate Bill 1565 seeks to clarify legislation that periodic park district programs do not require a DCFS license. So, for example, the kindergarten program that we run over at the Shiloh Center, we've had pushbacks, and a lot of other park districts in the area have had pushback from DCFS to require us to get a license, right? But we've been running these programs for 30 years, right? And nobody, manages risk and assesses risks and does more trainings than a park district does. So for DCFS to kind of push on park districts that you require a license, requires modifications to our facilities, all kind of things, that would be costly. So for example, our legislator and like Mary Edley Allen and Joyce and some of the people at IAPD really make that known down in Springfield to say, hang on, if you guys are going to push this, let's at least exempt park districts from some of these laws and things like that. So that's what they do, and they're really important, and they do a great job, honestly, on behalf of all Illinois park districts down in Springfield to make sure that our best interests are represented.
Yeah, I want to say that for the record, I want to thank the Park District of Gurney because they did an outstanding job setting everything up and breakfast, and it was always good to meet the legislators and talk to them and know that the negative stuff you hear. Park districts are definitely in the best interest of these legislators and even down at Springfield. So, don't ever think for 1 minute that the park districts are kicked to the curb, because they are definitely not. So I want to thank Gurney for the record.
Right, and like Joyce Mason submitted a letter of recommendation for our OSLAC grant, right? I actually asked Brad Snyder's office, but they wouldn't give us one. But that's okay. So, anyways, also we had our 33rd annual Black History program at the very end of February that was held in partnership with and at Zion Benton Township High School. David Osborne, who was our Herman Park Center director, he does an awesome job really putting that program together. And he plans the event and MCs the event. And, I was there, Kay, Christine, Carolyn was there. And it was a really entertaining, day. There was a lot of different talent, from poets to a marching band. They had like a over 40 double Dutch jump rope team. So, songs and everything. And I think everyone there really enjoyed it. And David really does an awesome job with that program, and he takes a lot of pride into it. And so that was the 33rd annual program. So the only other thing that I wanted to mention to kind of conclude my report was, toward the back of the packet there we have some flyers that Christine and her team put together on some of the events, as far as like the upcoming Easter egg hunt, the Earth Day celebration that will be held on April 29th. And then the very last page that I put on the packet there was this newly created shelter reservation fact sheet, which is really cool. And it was kind of utilizing our map that we just created recently, for a different purpose, to show the different shelters that we have out in the parks, and then also kind of give the amenities that are there, like how many tables that are there, washrooms and things like that. So when people are looking to rent a shelter, they can kind of reference this quickly and, decided. I mean, it markets them too, and we rent them out. So this was a really helpful tool, not only for our staff, but as a good marketing tool. So it's nice to have. Other than that, that is all for my report for February.
All right, thank you, Eric. Any questions from the commissioners? Okay, moving on. New business.
Yes, new business. So we will start with the gentleman from Camosi, John Bosman and Todd Perrone are here, and they have been trusted and valued partner of the district for many years. They oversaw the project management services of building the Shepherd's Crook patio. John has done facility assessment reports on all of our different facilities to write up what the needs are and the conditions that we have. The district has had relationships with them for a long time, and so we are hoping that the board will accept their proposal, which I'm assuming John will present for for construction management services for the building, the first phase 1 of the maintenance building. So I will let John talk about the value that Camosi will add to that project for the district.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you having the confidence to ask us back again and to be your construction manager for another round of pieces of work for you. I hope that everybody had the opportunity to review our proposal letter. Basically, the long and short of it is we're going to provide very similar services to what we did at Shepherd's Crook, which consists of actually 2 components to the overall project. The first being the pre-construction services, and the second being construction services. The pre-construction services includes all the work starting actually with helping with the selection of an architect to develop the design for the new maintenance facility. But during that process, we will bring our expertise to the table with Todd as our chief estimator and Kevin Camosi as a project manager. Todd will develop estimates every step of the way as the design gets developed, so that the goal will be to build only up to what your budget will allow, but to plan the entire facility so that it can be built in phases as future funding allows it to be expanded to be the ultimate size and configuration that's appropriate long-term. So the short-term goal is $1.5 million?
Yeah, $1.4 million, $1.5 million, maybe
Okay.
hopefully 5,000 square feet in the site work, right?
Yeah, it should be in that range. We may find, as prices are starting to improve a little bit, that we may be able to stretch that a little and get some more. So that's our goal, is to figure out how much we can get for the money that's available in phase 1, but to not build anything that hamstrings building future phases of the work around the site, to plan the entirety of it now and allow it to be built in phases. We will manage all the bidding of the work, bid it publicly to multiple trade contractors. The advantage of that is that you will know who those subcontractors are rather than getting bids from just the general contractor, so that we would then pick the lowest appropriate qualified sub-trade contractor for each category of the work. Camosi then contracts with them individually so that we carry the risk of the contracts, manage the work through construction from the very beginning to the very end, and then turn over the finished product to you at the end of the work.
I will tell you, you guys did an outstanding job up at Shepherd's. I mean, it's amazing what's happened up
I
there.
have to tell you,
So,
we get so many compliments about that finished product.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
just-
amazing.
yeah, it's off the charts.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Please.
So when you were talking about the phase of the project, you're just talking about that first 1.5, you weren't talking about planning the whole thing out, right? Or were
No,
you?
the plan the whole thing.
Even though something may change after, like you were saying, after the first building is built, you think you may need something different? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. So if you're saying we come up with an initial plan of maybe 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And then if, after we build kind of phase 1 and we live in it for a year or two, then Rich says, oh, I only think I need 9,000 square feet or 11,000 square feet, right? We can deviate from
Oh,
the
yeah.
initial.
Oh, absolutely.
So does that mean
Yeah.
you come back and you have to redo the whole thing?
No.
Or, okay.
No, that would be the goal, is that, let's just say that the initial piece is 5,000 square feet, and the whole package is 12,000 square feet. The idea would be from the first 5,000 square feet to get to the 12, you'd want to organize the components so that you could build, I'm going to pick a number, 2,000 square feet at a time. So if you didn't have the money to build everything, or if you decide you need to build less, you have the flexibility in the design so you can build it in parts and pieces until you get what you want. Now, that's not to say that it couldn't change as well, but the main thing is to not design it as if it's only going to be 5,000 square feet ever. And then when you decide, oh, we actually need more, now it becomes a major problem to expand it because you didn't plan for that future expansion.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just wondering what the process, if you completely changed it.
Now, will you guys come back and brief us periodically on the updates
Absolutely.
and changes and things like that?
Absolutely. As we go through the pre-construction phase and Todd develops budgets, typically what we'll do at each stage of the design, so the stages typically are schematic design, design development, and then construction documents. When we get to the end of the design, the preliminary design phase, Todd will come and will present a preliminary budget. When we get to the end of the second part of the design phase, we'll update the budget and advise you, are we still on budget? How has it changed? Has the design changed, grown, gotten smaller? And then before we actually go out to bid, we'll come and make a final presentation of where the target budget is for bidding, just prior to bidding. And then after the bidding, we'll come and make a presentation of the bid results.
Quick question. It's an assumption, I guess, but this would assume that, let's say, the first 5,000 square feet, that the infrastructure, the electrical, the sewer, the plumbing, the water runoff, all of that is planned so that you know where you're going and you don't have to build it 2 years later.
Well, it's planned for the capacity of the
Plan
expansion.
for the capacity is what I meant.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's the reason you plan for the whole at the very beginning, so that your electrical service is big enough to allow for the expansion, that your sanitary sewers are big enough to allow for the expansion. Those are really critical.
Yeah, that makes
The
sense.
the other thing that we would recommend doing is, during the initial design, design it in a way that we can make maybe the entire project first 5,000 being the base bid, the second being an alternate, so that you can actually physically see how much more it would cost today, to build the entire project. What I'm going to tell you is there's a lot of advantages into not doing it in two phases.
Yeah.
There's an entire another mobilization, supervision, all those things get doubled up when you break up the project into two phases. So this will be able to show you, the actual dollar cost of what it would be if you went ahead and did the whole thing at one time. I'm never going to tell you you can't, but it'll at least let you know.
Highly recommended.
Yeah. Well, at least you'll know what the value is.
Yes.
Right.
It helps the decision-making process.
What do you got, Jess?
I got a question for Rich. Rich, the only maintenance, how many square feet would you say that is?
That's 20,000 square feet under roof.
Wow.
Some is cold storage though.
Yeah.
What?
So the building itself
The
is.
building itself is about 15-ish.
That one
The
man.
core building's about 15, then all the lean-tos are.
Okay, that one man. No, I'm sorry.
No,
One
that's
question.
a good question. That's a
Yeah, very
good
good.
question.
Yeah.
We
Definitely.
are talking 3,000 feet difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Smaller, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything? Please interject. Okay,
Okay, so.
gentlemen, I really appreciate your time.
Certainly.
Now I'll entertain a motion that we approve the
Camosi.
Camosi construction service contract.
Are we approving just the pre-construction, or are we approving everything? Like, I'm a little confused on the,
This would be their
Go ahead.
construction services throughout the entirety of
throughout
of
the
this
project.
Right, so, when we get down into the final pages of the contract that's included, so the pre-construction phase service fee is 18,500, plus, the construction phase services fee of 4.5% of the final construction cost, right?
I got one question. Is that only phase one or for both?
I assume that would only be phase one, right? Because phase two may not occur, who knows, for a year or 2 or 3, whatever, right? And their pricing on those services could change, and so I assume this is just for the phase one construction.
Yeah, let's clarify the whole process. When you do enter into this contract, if you decide to go ahead with pre-construction services, we do that portion of the work. At that point, if you decide to shelf the project, that's all you pay us.
Mhm.
So it's broken in that way so that it gives you flexibility. If you decide to pump the brakes and not go ahead, and take the project design and put it in a can for a while, that's where you stop. The construction only gets initiated when we start construction. So,
Okay.
and certainly we would honor the contract if you wanted to, phase it in a 2-year period.
Okay.
Yes, we would do that, but
Okay.
that's,
All right, well, great questions. I mean, this is something new to us, so I think the questions that were asked are very,
Oh, yeah.
very detailed and definitely great questions. So, again, I will entertain a motion that we approve the Camosi construction service contract as stated.
am I taking it? Okay. I will make a motion to approve the Camosi construction services contract of pre-construction phase service fees in the amount of 18,500 and the construction phase service fees in the amount of 4.5% of the final cost of construction.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarry,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Again, fellas, thanks. I mean, if it's any indication of what you guys did up at Shepherd's, I mean, it's the writing's on the wall. I mean, let's face it. So thanks
we'll do a
again.
good job for you. we
We're
promise.
building a very similar building right now, just down the street from us on Old 41. Basically a heavy truck maintenance facility. It's got a lot of the similar components. We do this particular kind of work.
Probably do it in your sleep.
Well, maybe not sleep. Hopefully not sleep.
In between snoring.
Wait, you said 041.
What's that?
You said 41.
Old 41,
Yeah, Old 41. Across from the new Love's truck stop.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, across from the new Love's truck stop.
okay.
All right. Again, gentlemen, thank you
Yeah,
again.
thank you.
Appreciate
If
your
you have any
time.
questions, certainly feel free to relay them through Eric, and be happy to come back or answer them via email. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Signed agreement, John? John,
Thanks,
do we need to
guys.
send you the signed agreement then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever.
Will do.
Yeah, no rush.
Thank you,
Have a
gentlemen.
good
Good
evening.
everybody.
All right, Eric, the CEC lighting
Yeah.
proposal.
So, we had a need to fix some of the lighting in the district, and we evaluated a lot of different things. These lighting upgrades and improvements were not part of the, ComEd energy rebate that we went through a couple years ago and traded out some original lighting to the LED fixtures. We evaluated, multiple things, including, so if you look outside as you leave, there's just 4 small lights on the Leisure Center building that haven't been functioning properly, so that would be to change out those 4 kind of wall sconces on the Leisure Center. The band shell lighting needs to be upgraded as well, and this is where Rich initially found these individuals, this Contemporary Energy Lighting Solutions. So he did a great job starting conversations with these guys because they reached out to him I believe, for utilizing some ComEd energy rebate credits. So those energy rebate credits will be used on the bandshell lighting that will be improved, the lighting like in that area, so it's just much brighter and give us the ability to, brighten the lights and dim the lights based on, during a concert or the end of a concert. So that is one piece of this proposal. Again, the second one are just the wall sconces on the leisure center here. And then the final piece of this proposal that we're looking at are to replace the lighting heads out at the golf course at Shepherd's Crook. So if you look at those parking lot, all the poles in the parking lot at Shepherd's Crook, it would be replacing those out with new fixtures and LED lights.
I'm sorry. What page are you on?
We're above Camosi.
It's on 53, it starts on 53.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
No, you're good, Jess. Okay. Did you
So
get
yeah,
it?
so if you go then to 55, Jess, and they run some other kind of scenario analysis of the annual cost savings on electricity that you will realize by, switching to LED lights, which will be kind of a savings along the way. But also this proposal allows us to utilize $3,750 in ComEd rebates and incentives for a net project cost of $22,515. So that would be the proposal that we're bringing to the board is that we accept this project proposal from CES Lighting in the amount of $22,515. Obviously, Shepherd's Crook would pay for its portion of the project, which is the majority of this cost. It's just over $12,000 will go to Shepherd's Crook. So Shepherd's Crook again will pay for that cost, and as we know, it does not take in any tax funds or any property tax. None of that goes into our golf course funds. So
I got one question
Yeah.
for Rich. If we do this, will you have to one more electric? Because we've done air lights all over.
No, all the existing circuits are there for what's needed to be done. Basically, it's lighting fixtures that are getting changed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not
It's not the wire.
adding lights.
No.
Alright.
Draw
Okay.
less power.
Yeah.
less power, brighter, more efficient.
All right. Anybody have any other questions? Jess, you got anything more?
No.
Anybody? All right. I will go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve the CES lighting proposal.
I'll make a motion that we approve the CES lighting proposal in the amount of $22,515.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Kay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett.
Aye.
President Hart.
Aye. All right. Shiloh Golf Course parking lot.
Yeah, so Charlie out at Shepherd's Crook coordinated this bid process to go out and receive bids on 2 paving projects. The first one that we were looking at doing was the Shiloh Golf Course parking lot, which was going to, reduce a portion, the northern portion of the lot, because we just have plenty of parking capacity out there, and that frequently floods. So we were going to take out, just like a quarter of the northern portion, and then repave the lot. And then the alternate on the bid was to get a bid on the service drive just behind the building here, which is the service drive down into the parking lot. I would say honestly too, that was more of just an exploratory mission to kind of figure out how much that would cost. We would love to do it. But as I said in the budget meeting too, we really feel like our first paving dollars need to go down into the lower level lot here at the leisure center, that small circle area. So we were happy.
Bypass the Shiloh golf course? Or
Yes.
bypass this? Okay.
Yes, no, bypass both. So what I'm going to recommend is that we deny all bids from the contractors that we received. We were happy to get 4 different companies that provided us prices. But unfortunately, the 2 lowest bidders did not submit bid bonds as part of their package, which was required in the bid docs. So, by law, we have to throw their bids out. So, it's unfortunate that we have to throw out the 2 lowest bids. And then given that, we just thought it would be better off to just kind of table the project and come back at it, probably later this fall or sometime after the golf season. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention to let you know that we kind of did the homework on this, and the recommendation is to deny all the bids that we received and not do any of that paving work.
So
Okay.
will I have to make a motion to disapprove all the bids?
Yeah, I
that
think
were
we should.
presented?
I think we should just make it formal,
Okay.
and then we'll notify these contractors tomorrow that we've declined their bid.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right, I will go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve to disapprove the bids that were formerly presented for the Shiloh Golf Course parking lot.
So move.
No. Is that so moved? Can you do it? That?
I mean, I pretty much said it.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we're good.
I'm good. We're
Okay.
not approving them,
Right.
so.
Yeah, so it's not much.
Yeah, we're not spending anything on this, any money.
All right. So, Kay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett,
Aye.
President Hart.
Aye. All right, the surplus equipment.
Okay, yep, so the last item on the agenda is items to be designated as surplus equipment. So we have 4 vehicles on the list that we would like to designate as surplus equipment. They're listed out there with the descriptions and VINs, and Rich can give you more of a detailed, description on them if you have any question. But obviously, you're looking at a year 2000 GMC, a 2001 Chevy S10, a 2010 Ford Crown Victoria, and a 2011 International bucket truck. So the bucket truck we bought used, and we only paid $9,000 for that. We'd like to sell it, designate it as surplus equipment now and sell it at auction, because we think we could recoup the majority of our money, because it still is in good operating condition for the most part. And we were kind of confident we could get probably $6,000 to $8,000 for it. So we'd like to get rid of that before it fully breaks down. And then these other vehicles are obviously, 12 to 20 years old, and they've just really, like all of the equipment that we use, have outlived their useful life. Some of them not even operating. But we would surplus this equipment with the board's approval, and then put the equipment on that website that we've been using and have had good success on, the govdeals.com, which is like an auction website, and recoup as much value on these as we can. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners? All right, I will entertain a motion that we approve the surplus equipment list.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett,
Aye.
President Hart.
Aye. All right, and then we're gonna go into executive session. Ma'am, again, I totally apologize for not recognizing you. That's totally my fault. And again, I apologize, and please feel free to come to any meetings and bring a crowd. We have bus parking right out in front, so,
I have a question.
yes, ma'am, please.
I noticed on your agenda that there's a section for commissioner comments.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I miss that, or were there none?
There wasn't any.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, usually, the commissioners make comments about different events that's happened in the past, or, any comments they may have, they'll bring it up at that time.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
thank you, appreciate it.
Entertain
All right.
For executive session motion.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and entertain a motion that we go into executive session.
I make a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of the board discussing employment compensation, performance, or dismissal of employees pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett,
Aye.
President Hart.
Aye. All right, again, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.